like to get 8 cents on every dollar made when it's coming out of your brain, your soul, and you're the grinder? Like, break that down for people to why this is such a big deal.
Well, I mean, you know, on a day-to-day kind of, I think all of us can relate to the fact that, you know, when you are understand that, you know, when you go to Instagram, and again, I'm not gonna, this is not to down anything. These are platforms that we all use to connect with each other, to get our ideas out, to get our creativity out. You know, even if you go to Instagram, all of that content that you're putting up there is owned by another company. You don't own that. The connection, if they wanted to pull you, yank that, they're in control. Same thing with Spotify, who happen to be signed to a major label. You know, they're partnered with a Spotify and an Apple. Excellent platforms who've done excellent, fun, exciting things within them, and they've been nothing but welcoming and showing us love, right? So I love them for what they're providing, but I don't control that. I don't, my.
And by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, and this is important, back to and versus or. A, you don't control it, and B, there's just the conversation of do you love the deal? You know, like you could love a partner that you might feel in your soul should be getting 56 cents of the dollar and you 44, not 80 and 20, not 92 and 8. Like, it's not that everything has to be 100 and 0, but the fact that the blockchain has created an opportunity to negotiate on your terms is a game changer.
Game changer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Gary, the economics are important, but what you're seeing here is an example of incredible community. And I feel like you were the guy who came out and showed the world how to do community in a great way. There's 300 people lined up for merch, right? Or to come talk to you.
Wait a minute,
but hang on, it's not just economics.
Forget about that, because I have to do this.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to the people in the selfie line. You're sitting there in the overflow. I fucking love you. I don't even know what you're watching. I assume that you don't even know what this feels like to me. I will stand there for 4 fucking hours for you. I love you. Thank you.
So how's that for community? How's that for community? So, you know, just to finish the sentence, it's like, yes, the economics get supercharged for the creator, but the opportunity to interact and control and engage your audience to be part of the community is the #1 driver of why you want to do this as a creator. I mean, look at this, man.
It's a game of and. If you do good, if you are selfless, every imagination of the things you want for your selfish self will come through. It's reverse. It's reverse. Everybody comes from what's in it for me. If you come for what's in it for them, you'll end up with way more shit than you ever imagined for yourself. It's just the way it is.
And to that point, it really removing sort of those in-betweens and the go-betweens really helps artists, creatives like myself, connect with those who are gonna make that easier. Because when you work and you put your heart and soul into what you're creating, and then you realize that there's other, you know, interests that are sort of pulling from that and maybe devaluing what you do, which I'm sure every single artist in this room has felt to some degree in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't feel good, but when you have direct communication with your audience, when you have direct relationship with your audience, that's where the magic comes from, and you can give freely, understanding that it's a reciprocative sort of thing. And they're giving you the energy, you give them what you're here to do, and that's why we're here.
When you think of as a company helping artists that have already won, it's different with some of the people that are on the come up. Ones that have already won, what's usually the thing that you have to retrain them to see or think? What's the common conversation? What's the big hurdle they have to jump over? Or, flip side, what's the thing that hooks it? How does it break down?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot wrapped up in that question, but just because you're a celebrity, and I'm going to use it as a catch-all, in the Web 2 world, does not mean that you're going to be a celebrity in the Web 3 world. You need to understand that you cannot walk into a house with dirty shoes, right? And you need to be careful about your entry point. You need to be thoughtful about it. You need to engage with the community, not in a way that comes off that's not authentic. You've got to do things that are real to you and speak to the project that you're looking to launch and the community you're trying to engage with. And, you know, I feel like Miguel's done that with S1C, which is, you know, part of the reason why we're here with you guys today, with, you know, to announce the launch of S1C. And Miguel, I don't know if you want to kind of take it from there in terms of what we're doing, but that's been a thoughtful exercise.
Yeah.
Do it.
Would love to. So what we're doing at S1C is essentially taking real life products and services and pairing them, with blockchain protocol. I think at the end of the day, everyone really is looking at the opportunity we have to use blockchain to create a new world. And I think utility is probably the biggest word that we're all hearing. Right?
This is utility.
Yeah.
This is utility, man.
So basically, we make clothes sustainably, and we're also using blockchain to make our waste as minimal as it possibly can. We're also doing in real life events, parties and whatnot that kind of reflect the energy and the style. And it's all creative people, creative minds who have penetrated culture on different levels and different medium that are kind of behind the whole break thing.
And just to pick it up, this is not an idea Miguel had because he saw people sell for $69 million. This is a guy who's had this idea for 4 or 5 years, right? And he's leaned into it in different ways, and we've molded it around his personality and what he wants to do. Nobody in the world, you can see it on my shirt. Web 2, Web 3, who cares? Creators are creators, right? And we feel like, nobody's done the mashup of Web 2 and Web 3 creators in a way that we're doing it with S1C. And again, listen, entrepreneurs and creators make the whole economy work. That's what it's all about. It's all about that hustle culture that you preach, Gary. And that's the only reason we're standing in a building like this is because someone had a creative idea way back when, right? And that needs to be, central to everything that's
Miguel, you've been in the business of launching something. There's nothing more obvious to all of us everybody here will understand the concept of you've worked on an album and you put it out and it is either a hit or it's not. That's easy for everyone to grasp because that world's been around for 100 years. What's the difference between the nerves and the excitement of launching an album and what you're feeling with this a couple weeks away, it sounds like, right? What?
Yeah, in 2 weeks. So we'll drop our first thing in 2 weeks. Yeah.
In 2 weeks, you're going to drop this thing.
Yes.
Is there any different energies between in 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks out, as an album? What's the similarities? What are the differences?
Well, sort of the difference is with music being consumed so voraciously and it being undervalued. Literally, no one buys music anymore. This is not a music project, but I'm using it sort of to compare. The lead up is very, if it hits now, it hits. If it doesn't, then, you might have to just go back to the drawing board and keep going. The beauty about what we're building at S1C, and I think what successful projects like yours, the successful project that we're seeing, it's a consistency play. It's you show up every day, you deliver every day, you add value every day, you consistently give your community, product services, in our case, products and services, and things that'll be of value to them, or even if it's just wisdom, showing up to talk to them, which I think that's my favorite thing, watching you work, watching you do this is building that line of communication so that it is community, that it is all sort of unanimous. And that's what artists truly want, is to have a real dialogue with their audience. And this ability to do that now has never been, it feels like it's tomorrow. That's what we're building the world for tomorrow,
We're wrapping up here. Final thoughts?
No, listen, thank you for welcoming us in. S1C.LA is where you guys can, check out some information about the project. We've announced some amazing Web3 creators today and Web2 creators. On the Web2 side, if there are any sneakerheads in the house, Salehi Ben-Buri is a charter member of S1C. Shane Gonzalez from Midnight Studios. Yeah. The list goes on. And then on the Web3 side, we've got Kid 8, Brilly, Robbie Trevino, King of Midtown. Some really, really, well-known artists from both sides. And, with all due respect, screw corporate collaborations. It should be artist to artist to fan collaborations. That's how we level up as a society.
I love it. Miguel, final thoughts? And can you give us a preview of what's going to happen here in a couple hours right on this stage?
Final thoughts are just thanks for hearing us out, man, and let us come kick it. I love anytime I get to come hang with you. It's always a great time, but this is you and your team have outdone yourselves. This has been a tremendous experience, and hopefully we get to see you guys later on because we will be performing, and maybe you'll Let my love adorn ya.
On the record, if I could do that shit, it'd be over. Miguel, team,